Hello, everyone. Welcome to the semi-final in Division 1 here in the Geoguessr Reddit League. My name is Zatomo, and I'm joined by Calamity. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't wait to get into this semi-final matchup between Magyaron and Raidman Mucha, two of the best competitors in the best division, Division 1, facing off against each other today, Calamity. Uh, Obviously, given the way the playoffs work, Raidman was in first place in the regular season, with Magyaron at fourth, kind of how standard playoffs work, top facing the bottom. But Magyaron still definitely has a chance in this one, isn't that right?
Yeah, Raidman was part of the duo, I guess, with Simi, who just started running away with it pretty soon early on, even though they had a couple of draws at the start. But Magyaron slowly crept his way up there, got into fourth place, had very good average points. His total score is, I think, the third best in the division, yeah. And he's only like 10,000 points in terms of that behind Raidman. Um, Aces and best game is clearly in the advantage of Raidman, which makes me think Magyaron might have been performing slightly better on the country maps rather than the world maps. Their one matchup on a balanced world in week 6 supports that, where Raidman won by, I think it was a bit over 200 points. Best game from Raidman, the 25k, was in Sweden, so I don't think that's too important. But yeah, Raidman is probably the favorite going into this. But yeah, there's potential for an upset.
Yeah, indeed. They both have the same number of wins in Division 1 at 6. And unfortunately for Raidman, that perfect game was in Sweden against Kevin Kroner, who also got a 25K.
Mm,
So he only got a couple points for that. But he did get a bonus points as well as the bonus point for getting a perfect score. So he still got quite a few points that week, but that's one of his draws. Yeah, those aces, maybe not quite as important on the world map because you've got more leniency in terms of points. You don't have to be super accurate in order to get 4-9 something, as you would in a country map where you really want to be looking for those aces as best you can. So yeah,
technically yes, but considering Magyaron only got 9 in the regular season, where we
true.
played 3 world maps, meaning 15 rounds of world maps, he might be just being further away on the world maps as well.
True. It's hard to say unless we go back and look at every little detail, which
Mm,
we don't have at our fingertips for you. Sorry. Anyways, let's look at the map they will be facing off again. So it will be a repeat in a ways of their earlier matchup because we are on a world map again here on AI generated world map created by Roland Hill. Average score is 14,500. It's been played a bit over 10,000 times with over 80,000 locations. The AI has done a best job as it can to balance out the locations in terms of countries, urban, rural, as well as getting rid of those blurry and bad photospheres that no one wants to see. I think we've already got everything else taken care of. So let's just jump right into this matchup. Okay. Very rural, wet mountains to start.
mm. And already both of them are finding a crucial sign.
Yeah, both going the same way. Seeing some city names. Looks like America.
Also looks like neither of them recognize them.
Indeed, they both didn't even open the map. Magyaron showing he doesn't quite recognize it by putting us in Canada, although he is in the general area of where we are. The one sign. Raidman did say that his internet is a bit slower and computer has a bit of a trouble when he records, but he is willing to record anyways. So hats off to you, my friend, for doing that.
Interestingly enough, both of them went in the same direction to the south, and going north would have put you in a small city with probably a lot other information that might be useful to you if you don't know the general area you're in.
Yeah, it seems the camera is also a bit wet. going this direction as opposed to going north where the camera isn't quite as bad.
Yeah, I always find locations like that interesting because a lot of the Google Street View coverage you get is just sunny day or maybe a cloudy day. But, well, the conditions you'd want to show off the area.
Yeah.
But it's always fun seeing coverage where the weather wasn't perfect. Maybe in an area where the weather just rarely is perfect, so you didn't have any other chance than going then.
Yeah, or sudden change in the weather or whatnot, I guess. It's always interesting. But yeah, I do believe they do their best to record on good weather days.
Okay.
There's seen national forest, which
Yep.
raidmen will find in Alaska. It's not a bad sign, despite not finding the village. But now he's got those city names. He'll be looking to sort of pinpoint. With only 30 seconds left in a distances, it's going to be a little bit difficult to pinpoint.
Don't know if you walked. I mean, he's got a sort of a bay/river right next to him, which makes it fairly easy.
Yeah, I guess in a very straight run in a direction, going north-south. So he is sort of using that.
The problem he's got here is that he didn't go north, so he doesn't know that there's a small city right north of him, which makes it a bit harder.
But that won't stop him. Maybe a bit of a lucky pinpointing there, but he did get an ace in that round. Magyaron, I think, maybe didn't see that Chugach National Forest sign or some city names in Alaska, but a bit too far northeast, 4,348 points for him. So quite a big hole already for Magyaron after round one, unfortunately, Calamity.
Yeah, I feel like Magyaron went further than Raidman there, so either he just missed a sign or he returned to start before then. I don't actually know. I wasn't looking at it that closely. But yeah, at the end there, he just seemed to sort of want to place it in the middle of the populated area of Alaska. Just not be too far away from anywhere, sort of a hedge guess. But yeah, that's already 652 points behind. Might not get dropped by Raidman throughout the whole game, so he'll have to hope that he does, and that he himself performs better in the following rounds.
Indeed, yeah. He didn't even do a whole lot of map scrolling in that round at all. Just kept traveling and then seemed to almost run out of time. Maybe just not confident in what he was seeing to even look at the map, despite having a few town names. But yeah, we'll get into round number 2 here. And another wintry, cold scene with some snow here. And again, both heading south. They seem to favor that southern direction.
In this case, I think a good decision if I remember the round correctly. Magyaron seemed very confident that it was Finland pretty early on, and that would have confirmed it. Wait, he just went past some town signs.
There we go. Yep, and that should show him where he is. Those signs are pretty unique.
Yeah, didn't recognize any of the cities though.
Yeah, probably too small to be looking for on the map anyways. But this, I believe, has a road number.
Yep.
That's worth looking for.
Definitely is.
Between the different places he stands. The 612.
Did you just walk past it and ignore it?
He saw it. He did stop and check. Raidman seeing the same sign on his screen now. As they enter the village, but now he'll start looking for it, maybe?
Yeah, I'm wondering why he didn't just start looking for it immediately.
I don't know, maybe just trying to, use this timer to the best of his ability, just get a few extra clues before looking at the map, even though you've got quite a bit. That's all I can think of, but...
I mean, he had a couple of cities with, like, most of the signs told him this small city is so many kilometers away. So I don't know what you'd be able to find looking for a couple more seconds.
Yeah. Seems as Raidman is also struggling to figure out where we might be. checking the more rural areas of Finland, but that small little white road number is not going to be the most obvious thing to find.
Mm. The road numbers in Finland are sort of grouped up, but not necessarily ordered well.
Hmm.
Which means
Yeah,
you'll
so
find all the low 600s in around the same
there's-
area, but having to find that area is a bit of more of an issue.
He's found the road and he's found some of these city names through just sheer determination and willpower of scrolling as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah,
So
there we go. That's where he is.
yeah, and a nice little bridge. It's a very nice pinpoint helper.
Mm.
And he'll know that he is, and he will guess with a few seconds left, getting another ace. So yeah, no more points dropped. And while Magyaron seems to be able to move in the game a whole lot easier, his map skills, you might call them, are severely lacking behind Raidman so far, who, once he sees something, is all over that map and is able to find it very quickly.
Yeah.
So,
The 4,500 points isn't too awful for a random guess in Finland, but it's more points lost against the so far perfect Raidman Moocher, so not exactly looking good either.
yeah, not quite the back and forth close matchup we would have expected at the start. But you know, you never know. We could get rural Russia again. We could get Brazil in the middle of nowhere. Oops. Not good enough. There we go. Into round number 3.
Alright.
My mouse clicking abilities are a bit lacking today. So, and what do you know? We're in Russia.
What do you know?
In the
It's not
next
like we
round?
casted CG's and GC's match on the day before that or something.
Shh, don't give anything away. This is we don't know anything, right?
Yeah. I actually didn't remember the first 2 rounds, but now that you said maybe we're in Russia, I was like, yeah,
There is a Russian guess. This is the village that you have to try to get yourself out of. If you do get out of it, you will find some good information, which Magyaron seems to have already been able to do within 30 seconds. Raidman,
going the right way now
appears
as
to
well.
be similar. Yeah, both quite good in their navigation, even if Raidman's internet is a bit slower. I do find that Google Maps has a harder time in the forest. It might be all the light and like angles or whatnot of the files or something, but I don't know. I don't not good at photograph talk.
I don't know.
But-
It sounds plausible, but I don't know if that's a thing.
Well, I know like in video games, processing like a forest is really heavy on a computer because of all the light and the trees and everything. Urban
But-
environments are actually a lot easier to process,
Yeah,
but
I would
don't know if that's the same for photographs.
I would think that a video game
well.
processes it in real time and calculates how light should fall through, whereas Google Street View should just give you a photograph, which has already
Yeah,
been
yeah.
processed for you. That's at least my my thought of how it should be working, but I don't know if I'm right. No guarantees on
it's
that.
Yeah, we don't really know all the inner workings of Google Maps and Street View, but
But we were
And
able
here
to
they
talk
go.
about them because they've been looking at signs here mostly, searching the map for the bigger cities that are shown here.
yeah, not doing a whole lot other than scanning the map, looking for cities. And so far, not able to see anything. Still got about 40 seconds, 35 seconds now to go. Raidman is west of Moscow, while Magyaron is a bit further east, much further east, in fact. Maybe taking a bit of a clue, thinking we're in a more rural aspect. He's looking way east. In Irkutsk, everyone's favorite province from Risk.
It looks like Raidman has a sort of general idea on where he is based on the landscape, and Magyaron doesn't.
Yeah, and with time running out, Well, he will drop quite a few points, but Magyaron will not be able to make it up. He'll be even way further off. So 1,671 points for Magyaron, 3,786 for Raidman. So there was a gap for sure in that round, but Magyaron not able to convert on that.
Would have had to find the cities for that. If he had managed to pinpoint that, I think they'd be about even now. But with that, he's now over 3,000 points behind, and that will be very tough to make up in 2 rounds against Raidman.
Yeah, so you'll, even without knowing Raidman's performance so far, he will know he has a lot to do as we get into round number 4. And that hopefully that pressure doesn't get to him and make him even make bigger mistakes.
That's actually the new update where you can see the top 3 players is nice for, if you know, okay, I'm still looking good to be above those 3. So if he's already played, I'm beating him. Whereas if you're already go on.
I think one problem with that is if it shows the top 3 people who have completed it. So like you can't see it round by round, which is a little bit annoying. But so like I was playing a map today and there was the top 3 people were all 25k, but they'd all had taken like 5 hours to play the map. So it was like, it's not really telling me much about how good it is.
But then,
how good I'm doing rather. But
is getting 24,999 in 20 minutes better than getting 25k in 5 hours? Who knows? Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah. We're in Brazil here. Raidman's seen an area code, and now Magyaron has 2.
Yeah. So they hopefully will remember that Brazilian round from the earlier week. And looking at that area code, we'll zoom in on the right spot on the map.
I'm interested now because I've played it myself, and I've seen CG and GC play it. And so far, there we go. That's what I was talking about. So far, I haven't seen Joinville anywhere in the city. And just as I say that, Raidman is looking at a sign that says Joinville. Well, he's not putting his pin there yet. There we go.
Yeah, you'll get it.
That was good timing again.
Yeah, Castra's curse.
I mean, in a positive way this time.
Yeah. And he does have some street names, but that'll be a little bit tricky to find. Unless you know where exactly in the city you are.
It does look like a bigger street, and the city's not that big, so it could be findable in a minute.
Could be, and they do have a minute left, that is true. These players do work fast. Quite a few city names there for Magyaron with 40 seconds left. He needs to go northeast. In Austria or in Europe in general, do you guys say like northeast east to mean more east than north, or?
Wait, repeat that. What did you say?
Because like if you say northeast, it means like almost a perfect 45 degrees, right? But in a lot of times you see NNE, northeast, which means more north than east in terms of angling.
We do that, yeah.
Okay.
I just had to think.
Like maybe Raidman has found it.
He has.
1 second. He has. Very nice. 5,000 points. Another ace. Triple. Hat trick for him. We'll have to come up with names for those beyond hat trick, because in soccer, we really don't have anything above that. And Magyaron 4,317 will drop even more points. So yeah, going into round number 5, it's almost all but academic, I would say. Unless we want to really try to sell it. But
I can tell you a little fun fact about what you just said, because in the German speaking world, a hat trick doesn't just mean scoring 3 goals in a game. It has to be consecutively. If another player scores in between, it's not a hat trick.
Oh, interesting. I don't believe that how it works in
it works differently.
So the Premier League. So they did see a sign that said Peru on it, I believe, and there's a big sign right there for Raidman, if you didn't see that. Magyaron. What is really nice to note here is that these two players have pretty much gone the same way every single round.
Mm-hmm.
So they have seen the exact same things. They've had the exact same amount of time. And you can really see then kind of the difference in their play and unfortunately today in their skill. Magyaron not on his best game today. So
Yep. It's still interesting though as well because people don't use the same information in the same way.
yeah.
So just because they both went the same way doesn't necessarily mean they're on equal ground, because that way might just present more information of use for one of the two players, whereas another location would have another direction would have provided more information for a different player.
Oh, there we go. Del Pueblo del Japan. We must be in Japan. Japón. We must be in Japan. No, we're in Peru. But
Yep.
obviously they're doing something with the Japanese government. I don't speak Spanish, so I can't really tell. But must be some kind of development or
It's usually
something,
those kinds of
yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
It looks like Raidman is confident on the road. Must have found that on a sign somewhere. And there is the city. Yeah.
There we go. So he'll be looking to not drop any more points except for in rural Russia, which he can't be too mad at himself for.
Okay. Yeah, Magyaron's still, I don't know, not finding anything useful for him.
Yeah. It seems like he's really got it. He's got the country, he's got the region, except for Russia. But that last 1,000 some odd point pinpointing is kind of just not there today. So unfortunately for him, with only about 10 seconds left, Raidman will be looking for his fourth ace of the game. And again, Magyaron just hoping he's in the right state. And he's not. So 4,009 points for him, 5,000 points for Raidman. So that will seal the victory for Raidman. He will be in the finals against the winner of Simi and... Who was the other person? Simi and...
Equinox.
Equinox, that's what it is. I just spaced on her. I was like, oh crap, I need to know this.
Yeah.
Next week in a 3-leg final, so best of 3 for them as we take a look at these total scores. Oops. There we go. No, that didn't give it to me either. There we go. 18,855 for Magyaron, 23,786 for Raidman. Raidman, given his earlier stats that we showed you, his average points, he is pretty much right on that number, just above 23.5. But Magyaron, unfortunately, way below his average points in a game at only 18,000. So
yeah,
maybe a bit of an off day for him.
It was a very well-deserved victory for Raidman there. A bit of a difficult seed, actually, for a world map. But yeah, like occasionally you look at a relatively bad performance like Magyaron's and think like maybe if he had like 30 seconds more it would have gone a lot better, but in this case I don't think it would have in a lot of these locations. Like in Russia he was looking in the very wrong area. In Peru it wasn't looking great. He might have found a bit of a better place in Alaska, but other than that, yeah, just not his day, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. That didn't seem, the time wasn't the issue here. It was making use of the information that he found. Whether it was, I mean, Russia, Brazil, Peru aren't uncommon Geoguessr locations, so they're countries that shouldn't be unheard of or unfamiliar to these players at all. So it's not like we were in some really unique locations too much. So yeah, just maybe an off day for Magyaron, unfortunately for him. So that mean his run will come to an end, and we will see Raidman in the final next week. And we'll see you all then as well. Take care.
Bye.